Hey, hey, what's up, y'all? I want to do a story time because something recently happened, and I want to talk about it. And I have been pretty gracious for many years, and I don't want to be as gracious. And so I want to talk about still gracious, but I just want to talk about it. And it goes back to the story, not the story. I've told bits and pieces of this story, but I want to give the full context because this goes back to what I was saying in the video about Cherry the Boom. If you play with me and you get to doing too much, I'm gonna stop having grace for you, and I'm gonna tell all your business, especially if it's business that's pertaining to me. And so this is one of those moments where I want to talk about the whole context. And so, yeah. Hey Gigi, hey Maxwell, hey Ty, hey Raven. So get your things, because this is gonna be a doozy. And hopefully YouTube won't be acting all stupid today with freezing and all that stuff. I don't know what's going on with YouTube in regards to that stuff. I just fried some fish.
Yeah,
Come
right.
on. I know
I
that's
didn't
right. Come on, fried fish. Send me a plate. Um, yes. Hey L. All right, so y'all ready? So should I start at the beginning? Do y'all want me to tell y'all this is how we gonna do it? Y'all tell me. So should I start at the beginning and build up to today? Or should I give you what triggered me to tell the story and then go back? How y'all want me to tell y'all it? Okay. Okay, I'm seeing half and half. Okay, I'm gonna start in the beginning. I'm gonna do the beginning. All right, so picture it. 1998. Well, how does Sophia say it? Sicily, 1932 or 19, what number did she say? um, so I am in my junior year in high school, and this guy, handsome, he's handsome. Now he is like Michael B. Jordan handsome. Now, to y'all, that may be like fine. But when I look at Michael B. Jordan is real regular to me. Like just a regular dude. Like I see Michael B. Jordan's walking around all the time. Like he's not a standout beauty. To somebody else, maybe. But to me, Michael B. Jordan is not sexy. I don't find him to be sexy. I don't find him to be ugly. Definitely nowhere near ugly, but he's just regular. He's just regular. He don't do nothing for me. He ain't like, God damn. I don't care how sexy they try to make him, what suits they put him in, what him doing the little creed with the thing. He is just a plain Jane guy. Like I see him all the time. But even the body to me is everything about him is just plain Jane. It doesn't I can look at him and say, "Oh, okay. I can see somebody thinking he cute or somebody may drooling over him, but he's just regular. He's just a regular dude. Like He doesn't give me any kind of, I don't look at him and be like, damn, average Joe. Yes. So that's what this guy is. But for some reason, so many people were like fawning over him in my school. I don't want to say so many people, but a lot of people. Um, he's tall, and not tall in the sense like 6'3", 6'2". He's probably like 6'1", just a little bit taller than me. Um, it's just what it is. But everybody was fawning over him. Now, let me, if you didn't know, your sister is a whore. I will fuck a nigga just because he looks like my crush. I will fuck a nigga just because I want to that day, just because he gave me some extra fries at McDonald's and he cute. I'm a whore. I am not a I don't have any qualms about who I want to hook up with if I want to hook up with them. So one of the easy ways for a motherfucker to get on my roster, to get on my record, is everybody wanting you. Now, I'm not going to pursue you if I don't want you. But if I get the chance, if you pursue me and I know everybody wants you, I'm like, oh, I could get, it's kind of like um I don't know what to call these, but them kind of hunters that have like the animals mounted on their wall. That's kind of how I feel about niggas. Like, oh, I might not pursue you if I don't like you, but if you come across my forest and you just right there, I'm gonna get my rifle out and wear you out. Like, oh my god, like, oh. Do y'all watch House of Dragon? You know when they was chasing out after that white elk, that white it was an elk or some kind of deer. It was white, and Miss Thing said it, and Miss Thing saw it. I'm a if you come in my everybody looking for you and you come in my pathway, I'ma get you. I'm out. Oh, so I can put you on my wall. So when the people come, if you ever in my boudoir and you like, oh, you hunted all these animals? Yes, baby. Look at my roster. And everybody don't know all of my roster. There's some people on my roster that's only for me and my ego. You may think I'm a trans woman and I can't pull nobody because I'm a trans woman because I'm the chick with the dick. I'm the I'm the man, and you think that only straight men like you, and you think that only gay men or ugly men or a fat man or a broke man would deal with me because I'm less of a woman and blah 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 blah. You may think that, but a bitch pulls. But a bitch gets dime pieces. But a bitch will get niggas that you dream about. That's just that's just what I have experienced in my life. And so if it's somebody that's on a roster of someone else, that of multiple people, I might let you in the boudoir. And this is one of those moments where to me, he was regular degular, but to so many other people in my circle, they were like, oh my God, he's so fine. He's so da 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 da." But he was regular to me. So He came to our school as a senior when I was a junior. His name is Ronnie. Um, and Ronnie wasn't. And Ronnie was like a class clown nigga, like he's the type of nigga that come in the room and he want to make everybody laugh, and not in the kind of annoying. Um, You know how some people do that and they just not funny? He is funny. Like it's a in a enduring way. It's kind of his way of peacocking, is his way of um getting people to like him, but he is actually funny. He's a funny guy. And so he was like this in high school. And so you put him in a room, he's going to be the jokester. Now, I told y'all, when it comes to down low men, I don't know why this overlaps and why this tracks in my life. I've told y'all about this. There's no study, but for me, it is three dudes that I always know get down: class clowns, niggas that fuck with fat girls, like exclusively fucks with fat girls, like that's their fetish, and niggas that fuck with white girls, and that's their fetish. I'm not talking about they done had a one-time thing or da da da. I'm talking about white girls are their fetish, fat girls are their fetish. Class clown, they have that personality where they just wanna please everybody in the room, so they are funny. Um, got it? So now. There's no science to that. There's no data. That's just my lived experience. Got it? So I don't want to be like, oh, da da da. It's just my experience. Niggas that want to please everybody. Um, yeah. Class clown type of dudes. So yes. So he actually has two of those aspects. Got it? He got actually two because he fetishizes big girls. We'll come back to that later because that's a key point of the story. So he tall, slim, attractive to other people, regular to me. So I want to be that very clear. So we have a class together, my very first psychology class, that blossoms into me being really interested in psychology for the rest of my life. But we have a psychology class, and he is in the class. He is always high, like weed high, always being funny. And sometimes, I just smoked the blunt high. Eyes red. I just smoked the blunt high. Or, I smoked the blunt 3 hours ago. um, yeah, if you are just joining us, make sure you thumbs up. I see it's about 40 people in here. Thumbs up. Only 13 people thumbs up. Yes. So I think this is a part of the story that I've told y'all before, but we are doing a class assignment a group assignment where our teacher puts us in groups of four, two boys, two girls. Now, even though I was one of the girls, trans girls, this is the 90s, so they was not, I'm gonna affirm you and make you one of the girls. So it was me and him and two cisgender girls. So I'm sitting and kind of, I don't know this is just one of them times. It's my junior year. This is one of them times that I am like, I don't know. This is a joyous time in my life. My friends are, um, I ain't worried about no motherfucking school. I know that because this is my junior year. This is when we really getting deep into being at the gay club, and like I'm not. It's not my first introduction to the gay club, but I'm not new to the gay scene no more. Like I'm one of the girls. Like this is junior year. This we 17. We done been out to the club. We done they know us by name now. People know us by name. So me and my friends is kind of just out in the scene. And this is the that kind of when you first get into the gay scene, if you ever been in the gay scene, like you just it's that time where people know you now, but it's still fresh and not played out yet. So this is we're like 17 and I'm but I'm still in high school. And so the fun part of my life is when I get to go to the club on the weekends. When me and my friends get to go to the mall and be fishing and pull the trade and they come over because remember I had my own apartment. They come over my house and we sitting on the porch pulling niggas off the street. And it's just this is the fun time. School is not the fun time no more. So I'm in school just because I'm required to go to school. That's what it felt like. So yeah, I'm just in this class, child. I'm trying to get this credit. The best time of my life. We that was I want to say it's the best because I done had some other good times too. But but it was a great time, Ty. We had that was our uh we j- we just was having a ball. It was so fresh. It was so good. We just was having a good time. So the assignment was for the four people in this group. The assignment was that we all are stranded on an island. We are stranded on an island, and we are supposed to discuss how we are going to survive and what we're going to do and blah 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 blah. And so the teacher gives us time to have the discussion and blah 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 blah. And so he is we're all sitting down. The teacher is leaning on this person's desk. He'll walk over here, lean on this person's desk, being a teacher. But he's going to each group and asking them questions around the assignment. Like, what did y'all discuss? What did y'all decide to do? Whose job is this? Kind of like the Lord of the Flies type of situation. We all talking about what we would do to survive on this deserted island until somebody comes save us. How will we do it? Blah 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 blah. And so when he gets to our table, Ronnie is high and he is making jokes. This is a perfect time for him because he got the whole class attention and he can just make these jokes. So one of the funny parts of him talking was he says something along the lines of, we have to figure out who is going to be giving up some booty. And the cis girls, they like, the cis girls is giving, it ain't gonna be me, and da 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 da. So when they give that response to him, so when he does it, when he says somebody gonna figure out who gonna give me some booty, of course the teacher is like, boy, stop being ornery. But then the class goes into an uproar of laughter. And then the cis girls say, and this is how it happens within seconds. The cis girls like, it ain't gonna be me, and blah 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 blah. Ronnie does like this. Well, it's gonna be you then. To me. In front of everybody. That's a gag moment because what? Because I didn't expect. I was just sitting over here being cute, being sickly, being the only trans girl at my high school. So I say, just off the top of my dome, I say, shit, I'm not giving up nothing if you ain't giving up nothing. As just to, since it's all a joke, we about to joke, motherfucker. I say something along the lines of, you first or something along the line, humorous to flip it back on him. If I'm giving up some booty, you giving up some booty, and everybody goes into a uproar. So the teacher is like, "Oh my god," he's laughing too because it's all. Remember, this is a social situation, so it's not no pauses, and so it happens within seconds. He makes the statement of, "We got to figure out who gonna get some booty." The cis girls is like, it ain't gonna be us." Da, 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 da. And then he makes that joke of, It's gonna be you then," and I say, well, you better be prepared to give you up some too. And then everybody like, "Oh, the niggas," and it's this whole thing. So it's a moment of laughter. The teacher laughs, but also nips the conversation in the bud. Like, all right, let's get serious. Da 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 da. And so it goes on. But in my brain, I'm like, that was most people are not, most straight dudes are not going to be joking like that. But you get what I'm saying? It just felt like a weird thing for him to do in the moment. So we leave the bell rings and we leave the class and I'm walking and he's walking. He was like, he said something along the lines, "I didn't want to embarrass you. My bad. I didn't, he high. He is high. Like you can see the red in his eyes. You can tell he doesn't smoke weed." He was like, "Oh," and I am walking with the cis girls. And so he's not just talking to me, he's talking to us three that was in the group. Um, and he was like, "Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to embarrass y'all or make y'all. I hope I didn't." Um, Something along the lines of him apologizing about he hope he didn't mess up our grade or something because we were being judged by our responses. He didn't, but he was apologizing or whatever. So, all right. So this is the first like direct interaction with this boy that I have. Now, of course, I've seen him. My friends who, like one of my best friends, cisgender best friends in high school, loved him. She just was so infatuated with him, so attracted to him. And so, yeah, that's my first engagement with him. I feel like my wig is crooked. Let me twist it. Did that work? Boom. Or maybe I fucked it up. Hold on. Okay. Um, so fast forward to another part of the story. The next part of the story. So I have a cousin. His name is Duke. Duke is growing up and now Duke is obese. Like not this immobily obese, but he was big. He was a big nigga. Like, oh, when you think of obese, you can feel like he's obese. He's a big nigga. He's big. Um, Sweating all the time, heavy breathing. Um, Obese in that way. And he was like that when we were younger, and he's like that now. But there was a time in his during this time of the time that I'm about to tell you, he lost a lot of weight because he became anorexic. Hey, Miss Polk. So my cousin Duke growing up was big, but his mug was always sickening. There was a time though, yes. His mug was always sickening. So he's always been a big boy, but he was always mug. He had a cute mug. And so when we were younger growing up, and this is my family. So I see Duke at Thanksgiving. Um, I see him at this is my family. So we see each other at like our family gatherings, like blood family. And so Duke always avoided me because I was the queer person in the family and he was one of the straight boys. He was like most of the straight people that are my peers in my family, the straight boys, they kind of avoid me. They avoid talking to me, they avoid um engaging with me. They avoid it's not like it's not like I'm the cool family member. I'm the kind of the black sheep. You feel what I'm saying? So they don't really, and it's kind of strange in my family because in when we're young, it's the total opposite. Because I'm queer, I'm the most lively motherfucker. I'm the motherfucker that's bright. I'm the motherfucker who reads and who's good at playing video games and who's good at da 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 da. I'm the bright, shining queer child that doesn't have the stigma around queerness yet. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have experienced this, where when you young, because you are this kind of lively, young, gay. It don't have nothing to do with sexuality. It's just you are the fucking light. You are the magic is in you. The magic that everybody steals now that we older. The magic is fucking in you. And they're trying to, and then they start to try to snuff it out. But in the moment, in that kind of innocent moment where the culture protects children, that they can't really harm you yet. And so you are a little child with this magic on you. And you are just this thing. I don't know why it's getting me emotional. Shit. Shit. Woo. Because you're a fucking innocent child. And you just got that fucking shit on you. And motherfuckers love it. Your teachers love it. The soon as people fucking like, you ain't no boring ass cisgender motherfucker. You ain't no boring, just boring. They be fucking bland and boring. And because you got this light in you, because you got this vibrancy, because you got this thing, they try to fucking kill it in you. But there's a time between like 5 and, I want to say, I think for me it was like 5 and 9. Let's say 8. Between like 5 and 8, where the innocence is still there and the kids are, they can fuck with you. Like they can play with you without it being shameful. They haven't registered that I can't play with this faggot because everybody gonna think I'm gay. That hasn't started yet. And so they love you. They like playing with you. They come to your house and say, "Ooh, come on, come ride the bikes with me." They come to your house and say, "Ooh, come on, come over to my house and play the video game with me." They can fuck with you before the society says they need to be ashamed to even be your fucking friend. And this was that moment. And so my cousin, both of them, because they are both adults now, in our early years, it was like, oh my God, when it's time to come to family shit, we knew we was gonna hook up. We knew it was about to be, where my cousin at? Where my cousin Duke? Where my cousin DeWine? Where my cousin, my cousin, my people? Because we knew we was gonna link up, we was gonna go out and play Simon Says, go out and play kickball, go down and play Monopoly or what we was gonna do something because we were the kids of the house. And we knew we weren't gonna be in grown folks' business. And we knew the grown folks they was gonna be getting drunk and playing spades and da 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 da. And we was gonna be somewhere having fun without having to worry about them telling us to be quiet and sit down and da 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 da. We was gonna this is what we would do. because we were too grown to be in grown folk, too young to be in grown folks' business. But we wasn't babies. We didn't have to be watched. We didn't have to be watched. So that we were the kids that were in our age bracket. This was a beautiful moment. But once we get to 9, 10, 11, 12, prior to transition, it started to be a thing where they did not want to be around me. Because I was gay, because I was feminine, because I was agate, and it shifted how my relationship with my family. It shifted my relationship and how people treated me when I came to the room. And that's what it was. It is 40 people in here. Make sure y'all thumbs up. Only 22 people have thumbs up. So Duke started to distance himself from me. And no shade, we used to hunch too. So let's clock that too. I forgot to add that part. When we was young and we sleeping together in the bedroom, they had no problem hunching and humping on me. We wasn't having sex, but we was hunching and humping. But when we get older, it started to shift. It started to shift. Anyway, so fast forward to we remember we come. So I'm giving you the context of me and Duke. Now that's young. Come back to 98. Duke comes to a family gathering. And he brings Jeremy Long. This is a gay, obviously gay boy. He brings him to our family gathering. And so everybody in the family is like, what's going on here? Is it your boyfriend? What is going on? And I'm gagging because Duke he has a masculine persona. He doesn't have a yes honey girl queen child. He has a masculine persona. So him bringing this super high femme gay boy with a choker on to our house, to our family gathering, our homophobic family gathering, was a gag. And it was a level of courage that I actually did not expect from Duke. Not that I knew he was queer at the time, because I didn't, but it was just I'm like, what is happening? So this is gagging everybody, including me, because I was the only queer family member. Yes, with a choker on, child. He had a black like lace choker with a little diamond right here, with a little cowrie shell right here. And me and my family was looking like, I know y'all not trying to pretend that y'all not together or gay or what. Because this is not a family member and you bringing him into our house, into our gathering. It was weird. So after that moment, Duke calls me and we get to talking. And I'm like, when did you become, what's going on, my nigga? Like, what's happening? So tell me the tea or whatever. Because remember, he goes from a time when we are loving cousins to distant cousins, and I'm not fucking with you, and ooh, and da, 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 to now, boom, you come into the gathering with a queer friend. And so he tells me exactly what I knew. He queer. Um, and he done lost all of this weight. Like he becomes anorexic because he was always big when we were growing up, but then he becomes anorexic, and his new look garners him a certain access to desirability, because we know how fat phobia works. And so he, you know how superficial gays can be, but when he lose weight, he becomes this hot boy. And so he pulls Jeremy. Him and Jeremy make out. He falls in love with Jeremy, and he's so in love with Jeremy that his fear of the family goes away, and he brings Jeremy to the event. So when he calls me, he's telling me this, and I was like, "When did this all start? Like, and why haven't you called me and talked to me? I'm the fucking queer person in the family, bitch. I'm the fucking supreme, bitch. Why you not coming to me and talking to me?" Now, mind you, I'm 17. Duke is like 3 years older than me. So he's like 23 or 4 years. So he's like 2021 at the time that I'm 17. At the time of this shit going on. So he tells me, he says one of the reasons why he didn't come out is because of how they were treating me in the family. He was like, he was like, yeah, you can come to the house, but when you would not be at the house, they would be talking hella shit about you and talking about how they want to burn you and how they want to you know harm you because you queer. And only reason why it did not escalate to somebody like being violent to you was, well, first of all, our branch of the family is known to be, honey, crazy and twirl. So you ain't gonna try us, especially my mama. You ain't gonna try Deanna Elizabeth Collier, baby. So y'all can make all these threats when we gone, but it ain't gonna be while we here. Cause baby, listen, that just wasn't gonna happen. Now I didn't know nothing about all of that, but but baby, my mama wasn't gonna let that happen anyway. Um, so so that's why we didn't ever hear about it. They would be acting funny, but not in the making no threats type of shit. And so he tells me all of this kind of stuff. And so now we're in a conversation where we're talking about his queer history, like what, like how did he be, like how did he come out, or how did what, all his story, his story. And so one of the things he says, he was like, because he went to the high school he went to was called Northwest, and a total different opposite side of town than my high school. And he was like, when I was at Northwest, my guy best friend, I was madly in love with him. He was so cool and funny and nice, and I just was madly in love with him, and I just didn't know how to. I didn't know how to pull him. I didn't know how to um, get the dude because I was new to being queer. And I was like, "Oh, baby, well, I'll show you how to pull him, honey. I know how to pull the train." So tell me where you at with the situation. Are you still cool with him? He was like, "Yeah, we's cool, but he don't go to that school no more. He goes to your school." And I was like, "Who is he?" And my cousin say, "Ronnie, the class clown dude, was my cousin's high school little best friend, because when he was a junior, Ronnie was a freshman. And so they come up in the high school together because he wasn't out and queer, but they were friends and cool." So I was like, "Oh, I know Ronnie. You trying to pull Ronnie?" And I tell my cousin Duke the situation about the psychology class. And he was like, "Oh," I was like, "Well, that's interesting. Let me show you how I pull when I was a butch queen. Let me show you how I pull niggas." And so I'm giving him my strategy. I'm talking to him on the phone. I'm giving him scenarios like, this is how you set up the conversation. This is how, if he responds like this is where you go. If he responds like this is where you go. You have to passively aggressive when you're dealing with a straight boy. If you're trying to turn them out, and I know this seems diabolical, but but If you're dealing with a straight boy and you're trying to turn him out or try to get him on your team, baby, there's a way that you got to finesse it. There's a homoeroticism in all male interactions. And if you are not a male and you weren't conditioned to be a male, you don't really, you may see it from the outside, but you don't know it from the inside. It's similar to like being a little girl. Eve, I don't care if you grow up to be a trans woman, and this may be problematic and maybe turfy, but this is just what how I feel. You don't have to agree. There's just being a female child is a certain level of conditioning. Is a certain level of conditioning. And if you are not a female child, you did not get that conditioning. If you are a male child, you are being bred and conditioned to be a male. And so there's a certain level of freedom, there's a certain level of mannish honoriness that you can be. Whereas a girl is going to be judged for that kind of level of freedom. She needs to sit proper with her legs closed, and there is a certain level of the safety. People are protecting you in a way that they're not protecting little boys. There is just a different conditioning in if they know you're growing up to be a girl. Now, when you get into high school and you start to change and start to live, I think that there's a difference in those things. And so there is a homoeroticism in male engagement, just built in because of patriarchy. Patriarchy says, I am supposed to hate women. I'm supposed to like vagina, but I'm supposed to hate women. This is why they be trying to say trans women are acting like men for being outspoken. I think that there's absolutely, but because we're conditioned to be free, I think that that is a residual of that. I think you find, and this is not everybody, I'm just saying in general, not absolute, but in general. Do we have timid, shy trans women? Sure, absolutely. If they had some trauma and they can be timid, shy, and trans women. But your conditioning as a male lends itself for you to be a self advocate, lends itself for you to um, say what you want and be out there. The conditioning of a male lends itself. I'm not saying that every one of us has that, but it lends itself to be more bold and be more free and be more able to say, I don't like that. As opposed to a girl, the conditioning leans you to be submissive, lends you to be. It's similar to black and white women. If you just take those women on our end, because we have to self-advocate because the whole world don't give a fuck about us, we are used to battling. So when you see that we got this harshness, it is because the world is so against us and we've learned to do that on a consistent basis. So that's why they say that black women is masculine or try to do that, because we have to be more assertive. So there's going to be that nuance that happens. And like I said, it's not absolute, but that is one of that conditioning is one of the reasons why there is going to be that similar behavioral aspects of black women and a man, because we got to buck up against that kind of system. And if we're used to bucking up against that system, there's going to be a confidence. There's going to be what somebody can perceive as aggression. If you ask white women what they like about black women, they will say, I just like how they don't let shit, they don't let people fuck over them. They speak up for themselves, their confidence. But we have to have that. It's not that we want to have that. We want to be soft and demure and be taken care of and damsels in distress. But we're used to the world shitting on us. So we gotta buck up sometimes. Okay. So anyway, back to the story. So there is a homoeroticism within male culture. It is a very thin line between homosexuality and straight men behavior. them that and example was that locker room shit that we hear about, that kind of smacking each other on the butt, to doing little weird sexual shit that may not go as far as to having sex, but it's right there. It's right there. All one have to do is make the move to make it sexual. And if you are a queer person and you're strategic, that that move can turn a boy out. I told y'all, even in the Gerald story, when I talk about it in Love Beneath, it went from horse playing to dick touching to dick sucking. That's just it's just what it is. So I am teaching, and if you in that area, if you're used to moving in that area, you can actually be really skilled at doing it, even at a young age. So I was really skilled at doing it, putting myself in situations where I'm being passive aggressive. I'm not being aggressive like, give me that dick, boy. No, I'm being like, oh, I just so happen to be here, and I'm sexy and soft and feminine. I'm not gay. I know how to be demure and be and mindful, baby. Very demure, very mindful. And so, and put them in a position to pursue me and see me as this soft feminine thing that they can dominate. And because they are constantly trying to dominate each other, there is a thin line between dominating you socially and dominating you sexually. And so, them hormones is high, dicks is hard. It's an easy way in. Anyway, so I am teaching my cousin how to pull Ronnie. I'm trying to get him to pull Ronnie. Now, mind you, I don't want Ronnie because Ronnie is, I told y'all, he's a regular dude that I don't even look at like that. Like, it just, you know, he cool. That's how I felt about him. So, oh, and another element of Ronnie is I don't think, other than the situation in the psychology class, Ronnie didn't really engage with me that at all. You feel what I'm saying? That's just what it was. So it wasn't like he gave me energy to think he wanted me. I felt the moment in the psychology class was just a joke because he's a jokester. It wasn't. He never even acknowledged me in any other space, and I am. I need you to chase the dolly. I need you to show me attention. I'm a girl who needs that kind of consistent feed my ego, honey. So I tell my cousin Duke, this is what you do to pull Ronnie. So I tell what my cousin to do, and my cousin is supposed to tell me what happened. So I give him the game plan, we discuss and we practice over the phone, and then he goes pick Ronnie up, and he's supposed to make it happen in this moment, and he's supposed to call me and tell me what happened. Did it pan out? Did it not pan out? What the fuck is going on? Da 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 da. So I'm giving y'all the setup. So I give him the game plan of how to pull the boy, and then he's supposed to come tell me what happened. Y'all follow me? We on the same page? So he calls me and say, hey, I'm about to go pick up Ronnie, and we about to go smoke and go da 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 da. And in this moment, I'm gonna try to do what you told me to do. I was like, all right, call me and tell me what's going on. So make sure you thumbs up. It's 50 people in here. Thumbs up. It's only I see only 29 thumbs up. So we get to, Duke calls me after the situation. And I was like, all right, bitch, tell me what the tea was. Tell me what happened. And Duke say, "Child, you won't know." Now I'm saying it like a gay boy, but this is not my. Remember, my cousin Duke is really masculine. Like if you've seen Duke, he just would be like a regular boy. So he's not a queen. I'm just talking like that. So he says, "Child, it didn't go like I wanted it to go." And I was like, "What did you do? You must have did something wrong." He was like, "Nah, I failed because of your motherfucking ass." I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "Because," and he goes through the story, and that when he pulls the magic move, Ronnie says, "Nah, my nigga, you like my homeboy. I don't. If I was to get down like that, it would be with your cousin." And he gagged my cousin. He gagged Duke. Ronnie gagged Duke by saying, "If I'm gonna mess with somebody, it's gonna be your cousin. She look like a woman. She a girl." And I was like, "Oh, really?" So when my cousin Duke tell me that, I'm like, "Oh, so I'm that girl. Oh." And just the fact that he said it to him made me even more like, "Oh, you want Miss Thing. You don't want the Butch Queen. You want Miss Thing. All right." So, okay, period. So my cousin says, "But I ain't no hater. He fed your fish, right?" But I ain't know, but my cousin was like, "I ain't no hater. I gave him your number." Cool. Because Ronnie and Duke really is in love with Jeremy Long, the one he brought to the Butch Queen that he brought to the family function. But because he was always in love with Ronnie, he at least wanted to try to see before they get serious. Let's wear it out. So I'm gagged at the whole story. Like I'm gagged at the whole situation and blah 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 blah. So fast forward to this all happens. So this whole part of the story happens between the span of this stuff happening is between the end of my junior year and the beginning of my senior year. Now, my senior year, I don't go to school but that first semester and I only have like 3 classes because I have all the credits I need and all the classes that I need to graduate. Be in my senior year, I got 2 classes. I got U.S. government and world civics. And if I get those classes, I'm good. So they gave me a bunch of electives that I didn't need, and those two. So once I did government and did US world civics, I would be able to graduate. So I didn't have any classes the last semester of my senior year. So remember, Ronnie is a year older than me. So he graduated in 98. I graduated in 99. So my senior year, Ronnie is not at the school because he done graduated. So this happens. So he was a senior when that psychology class stuff happened, and I was a junior. And so once that summertime is when him and Duke was having that moment, and Duke told him, and he told Duke that I want to be with a trans girl, not with no butch queen like you. You a nigga. And so yes, so by the time I get to a senior, bam, this is when this moment happened. So now I'm also having way more freedom as a girl because I'm not going to school all the time. And um and in school, while I was wearing girl clothes, I couldn't be like, because I was strategically not trying to draw attention to myself, I couldn't be beat. I couldn't go to school like I would go to the gay club, which is what I wanted to do. I went to school girly, but I didn't want to do the doll. I wanted to be regular degular fish like the regular degular fish. And so, but because I don't have to go to school now, I am more consistently the doll. All like done up, always in a heel. I'm more consistently that girl. And so by the time we get to and also I'm in choir class. I'm in gospel choir and da 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 da. And so I still and drama club. So I still have to go to school, but not during school hours. I still have to go to like drama club and choir and practice. And this is kind of like after school curriculum. After what is it? After school activity type of situation, extracurricular activity. Yeah, I'm like, what was that word? Extracurricular. um and so because of that, I could come to school punishing a little bit more. And so one time I am at home and I am chilling and I am fly, I am feeling good, I'm by myself, and I get a call on the phone, and it is my cousin Duke. And I say, "Hey, hello," da, da, da," and he says, "Hey, um, is this Diamond?" But they don't say Diamond; they say my dead name. Now I think this is Duke, but remember this is my cousin. So him saying my dead name, I'm side eyeing because nigga, I know you my cousin, but you know my name is Diamond now. Why the fuck are you calling me my old name? And so I was like, nigga, you know my name is Diamond. Why the fuck are you calling me that old name, nigga? And he was like, oh, my bad, my bad, my bad. Diamond, can I come over to see you? And I was like, where are you at? And he was like, oh, I'm on the west side. And I was like, hmm, yeah, I don't mind you coming over, but what are you coming over for? Like, what? This is not how my cousin talks to me. So I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, it was like, what is up? Why are you acting all weird and shit? He was like, who you think this is? And I was like, Duke. He was like, this not Duke, this Ronnie. I was like, oh, what? Huh? I think this is my cousin because they sound alike. Their voice sounds alike. Because remember, my cousin Dukes has a very masculine nigga voice. They grew up together, so they sound alike to me. So I thought that this was my cousin talking to me. But when he said it was Ronnie, I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Let's make it cool. Let's make it happen. So Ronnie is drives because he's a graduate now. He's out of high school, and selling drugs. Ronnie has a cherry red box Chevy SS Monte Carlo. Like he done painted it cherry red, like bright, 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 bright red. And he got I don't know if it's Dayton's. He got Dayton's on it. It's just like a badass. Y'all quiet. Am I freezing before I finish the story? Y'all listening? I want to make sure I'm not freezing and I'm just do I need to refresh? Because y'all know YouTube is tripping. Is it working? Okay, perfect. So um so he got this cherry red box Chevy. That's what's going on. You get what I'm saying? So he pulled up in front of my apartment in this bright ass car with the beats bumping. And I look, so this before I see him in this car, I actually think that this is my cousin kind of playing. You feel what I'm saying? I think that it's my cousin kind of playing, but once I see him in the car, I'm like, yo, I'm about to have Ronnie. Like, yo, this is about to be fire because I'm about to have Ronnie. Because remember, I need to have this on my mount on my wall. I need to have this on my mount on my wall so I can brag about it to my fish friends who are in love with him. Because people love to make it seem like the trans girls can't pull. So anyway, so he is high as giraffe's pussy. And he knocks on the door, and how my apartment is set up, you got to open up my door and you come out into this like kind of hallway, and then you got to unlock another door, and that door has glass so you can see through that door, but you can't see through my apartment door. So we on the first floor, and so I had to come out, and I'm the doll. So he comes to the door and he like, you look so pretty, and damn, you look so good. Da 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 da. Da. And I let him in the house, and he sits down on the couch, and we just kind of sitting there, and he's just kind of giving compliments, and you can tell he's nervous, like sweat palm sweating and kind of nervous and da 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 da. So we we now mind you, I done been in this situation before, so I'm not nervous in that regard, but I'm trying to get to the business. I'm trying to get to what's going on. Now, also, I want you to understand where I'm at in my life as far as sexually. So at this point in my life, I have only been penetrated one time. I done sucked a lot of dicks. But actually being penetrated, I had only been penetrated one time. So that being plunged being plunged isn't ain't really my tea. I was gobbling. I was a head demon, honey. And so that in my brain is what I was expected to do. I was trying to gobble that meat. But he had a different story planned. He wanted to gobble my meat. Now, I was not as sexually fluid as I am today. So when I had a very strict mindset about sexuality. If you wanted to do the girl stuff, like you wanted to suck pieces, you wanted to get fucked, you wanted to do that stuff, you was an agate to me. You was an agate. You and I, as a woman, do not date agates because agates like men, and sweetie, if you want a man, be with a man. I'm a woman, so I like straight boys, and straight boys don't do all of that. That's remember, I'm 17, y'all. And I know some trans girls who still got that mindset, but I do not. I need my nut. Not anymore. But back then, I'm like, no, I do the girl stuff, you do the boy stuff. And if you do anything outside of that, you is gay. And I don't date gay boys. And it was very anger triggering. It was very triggering, and I will put you out. Like I literally will put niggas out if they trying to do all of that. But this was Ronnie Price, and I needed it mounted on my wall, so I wasn't about to put him out. I wasn't about to put him out, and so I just said no. We don't do that. I do you. That is gay. You is not gay. You is straight. I'm a woman. Treat me like a woman. So imagine him building himself up to this moment. And then I just shit on his little fantasy and call him all kinds of faggots and gay and da 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 da. He said, now this is years later when we talked about it. He was like, I felt so ashamed. He was like, even though we continued and you gave me some head and da 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 da, he was like, I felt like the gayest motherfucker because how can the gayest motherfucker that I know make me feel like I'm more gay than them? He says, I was so ashamed. Like I felt so embarrassed and so shameful, and I never felt he said I never felt like that in my life. And he was like, other than how great you gave me some head, it was that made me kind of forget for a second. But when I left that apartment, I was so ashamed of myself because of you didn't even I was so hyped to do this queer stuff and you just shitted on it. Now, at the time, he wasn't remember, this is just to mount you on my wall. That dick was little and late. That's another element. So not only are you regular degular, your dick is little and late and tired. And not just regular little, like little. So I'm not even interested in having you a second time at all. Because, child, all right, I done had you on my record. Um, can straight men do queer stuff? So this is a mm, that is a rabbit hole question, Shonay. Yes, I think straight men can like things that sexually that people consider to be queer, but I don't consider them to be queer unless they do it with another queer person, another same sex. So, like, if you getting pegged by your wife, I don't consider that queer sex. I consider that you just pleasing a nigga's ass. You getting your asshole, um, you getting your asshole pleased by your wife. I don't consider that queer sex. Um, I actually consider that to be freaky to them, but normal. Like a nigga getting his ass ate by a girl, that's not queer to me. That's not gay to me. Um, anything a dude is doing, a cisgender gay, a cisgender heterosexual man that is doing with a cisgender heterosexual woman, no matter what it is to me, that is heterosexual sex. She could be dildoing him. She could be whatever she's doing to him. It's still sex between a man and a woman, and that's still heterosexual to me. Now, other motherfuckers be like, "Oh no, ain't no," but I think that's just homophobia. They still got a G spot in their asshole, whether they ignore it or not. It's still up in there. So, um, I think in my mind, this is really nuanced, and this is why labels don't work. But in my own personal mind, in my own ideology, if you think that is queer, you, the person doing it, if you think that is queer and you cross the line in playing in that queer situation, then I feel like you have made the decision to be queer. Like if you think that that is a queer act, does it make sense? Like if you're a dude and you think that it is gay to be getting dildoed in your ass, no matter who it is, you think that it's gay and you do it, then you have crossed the line into being gay. Because in your mind, that's crossing the line. Does it make sense? Same, I feel the same way about the trans women thing. People is being with a trans woman gay? Can a straight man be with a trans woman and be straight? If you think of me as a woman, then you're straight. But if you think of me as a souped up gay man and this is queer and you're crossing the line, then yes, I think your ass is gay. You just didn't want to get no regular man dick. You wanted some woman looking dick. But if you think of me as just a different type of woman, you affirm my identity. I don't think of you as a man. I think of you as a woman. I don't think of you as some dude. You beautiful to me. You got some pretty ass titties. You got that pretty ass face. You got that body. When I saw you, I didn't know you was trans. I thought you was just a regular woman, and I was attracted to you because you was thick red bone. I love you, or whatever they attracted to. You is my type. And so I didn't know nothing about what you had going on. I just thought you was beautiful. I don't think he's gay. He's seeing the woman that I'm giving, and he's still attracted to women. I don't think that that's gay. But I think if you think of me as a man, yes. So I feel like it's the perspective of the person and what they feel is crossing the line. I hope that makes sense. I hope that explained a little bit, Shonette. So yeah, I think it's queer if they think it's queer. So what part of the story was I at? All right, so he felt embarrassed, blah, 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 blah. So mind you, this is my and as a trans woman, I have dealt voluntarily with both type of those men. And I know exactly, I can tell when I'm with one opposed to the other. So this was my senior year. We messed around my senior year, and yeah, that's what it was. So fast forward to a whole different life. I go to Jackson State. I moved to Mississippi. I go to Jackson State. A whole different time of my life. And then I end up going back because I got custody back to Indianapolis because I got custody of my brother. So there was a whole time period that I did not live in Indianapolis. But when I got custody of Rakim, I went back to Indianapolis. So I'm coming back to Indianapolis as a 22-year-old woman. That was when I was 17. So you see the time difference. So I have not only gotten older with way more lived experience, but I have gotten more advanced in my womanhood as a trans woman. Okay. I'm about to, at the time I wasn't a sex worker, but I'm about to go into my sex worker era. Sex worker life is about to start, and yeah, that's what's about to happen. So I get on Black Planet. This is Black Planet time. This is 2002. Yeah, 2002. And of course, now I am, 2003. Of course, now I am hot in my fire era, and I am, I'm out in these streets. And so now this is the first time that some of the high school niggas, this is when the high school niggas is seeing me as the girl, baby. I'm out here in these streets. We grown. So they're running across my profile on the dating websites. I'm going to the clubs. I'm going to straight clubs. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? They're finally seeing me as I'm in my woman. And so Ronnie sees me on Black Planet, and he slides in my DM. And so I remember that dick was late, but I done grew up. I done had a little bit more experience. I done got a little bit more fluid. So I done bit by the bug of getting cakes and getting head. And remember back I told y'all the story about the dude giving me some head in at Jackson State, and I just fell in love with getting head. Um and I had become a escort. So I was, as when you escorting, baby, and I advertised as a top, I didn't advertise as a bottom. So I had learned to slang some cock. I had learned to enjoy the pleasures of clapping some cheeks. I had learned the hot and the wetness of some cookies. That snapper, that grip. So I was like, all right, I'm a new girl. And so now Ronnie done got older. He done got that, and there's something about a man between 25 and 30, when that kind of grown man hit him. That testosterone was hitting them in high school, but they still had that young high school boy look. But when you get in that like 25 to 30 era where that testosterone is done hit them, and they got the little beard, and they looking like a man. That's what Ronnie had done. He done got his money up because he was a dope boy, and he started to look. He done gained a little bit of weight, and he looked like a man. And so it made him more attractive than he was in high school to me, because you look like, I ain't never been attracted to no like young Ganymede type of boy. I ain't never been. I like a man, and that might be my upbringing. I like a dude to look like a dude, a grown man. I like older men. Even to this day, I like men in their 50s and 60s. Um, so when he hits me up, we are exploring, we are talking about what has transpired in our life so far, how things have changed, da 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 da. So I'm explaining, honey, I done experienced life now, so I'm trying to get up in them yams. I'm trying to get up in that throat. I'm trying to get up in them yams. So if we gonna get down, them yams need to be clean. You need to make sure they clean and ready. Them, I need to prepare you because I don't like to be dealed, and so I hope you know how to handle all of these things. And Ronnie pops me back and says, I haven't messed around with anybody but one person with you, after you. And I was like, who was it? He was like, your cousin Kiever. How does this happen? When does that happen? And so he tells me that, so Kiever is Kiki Wyatt's brother. She has three brothers, Kendall, Kiever, two brothers, Kendall and Kiever, and she's the oldest. And me and Kiever is the same age. And Kiever went to school with us, Butch Queen. And so he tells me the story that he sees Kiever somewhere, and basically Kiever tries to holler at him, and he's like, yo, boom. But Kiever's a Butch Queen, so Kiever was ready for all the action. So he gave Kiever some head. So they didn't do any of the sex stuff, but he gave Kiever some head, and Kiever gave him some head. So at this time, me and Kiever is talking. So I call Kiever and I say, Kiever, you hooked up with Ronnie? And he was like, yeah, bitch. And he explained there was also a situation where I brought Ronnie over to the house a time after the first time that we had, and I brought him over to the house. And once again, I'm young. I forgot to tell this part of the story. Once again, I'm young, and my ego is this is my piece of trade. But Ronnie had a whole different story. Ronnie came over here and to be, he wanted a train ran on him, basically. And remember, I'm like 17. This is before I go. And so when I bring him over and you trying to have all my friends in the house, it was me, Keever, and my homegirl Dominique. We called her Don at the time. And he come over to the house and I'm trying to show off him. I'm trying to show him off as my trade, but he trying to be like a fucking client and want to do us all. That turned me off and I put his ass out. So I'm here bringing the trade over, pooching, and you trying to be a slut bucket getting trains ran on you. Nigga, get your ass out of my fucking house. So I put him out. So that's what happened when we were 17. So after I leave the city for those years, him and Keever hook up in that situation. And Keever tells me and da 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 da. Tells me what happened, and it is what it is. So in my brain, at this time, I'm 22, so I have gotten more fluid, but it's still a little bit of that remnants of judgment. So you remember what he told to my cousin Duke: if I'm gonna mess with somebody, it's gonna be one of the girls. It ain't gonna be you. You a nigga, but Kiefer is a nigga. So you done switch it up. It used to be you messed with the girls. Now you done got a butch queen on your roster. So that kind of turning me off. But I am also, I done became more fluid and slightly less judgmental. So I'm like, I'm still gonna get these yams because you telling me that ain't nobody got these yams, and I don't care about what I would have had him if he didn't, but cool. I'm about to get up in these yams. So he tells me where he lives, and I'm like, okay, cool. You live all the way out west. I'm gonna drive over there, and who you live with? And he says, oh, I live with my wife, but she you don't have to worry about that because she's in the hospital in labor. Wait, so I'm about to come over to your house and plunge you in your booty while your baby mama is in labor with our first child? Yeah. That's not my business. Cool. I drive over there. I drive over there. That gagged me a little bit, but I'm also a sex worker, so it don't really matter because I done mess with niggas who got wives and da 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 da. But that particular circumstances was just a gag. You supposed to be at the hospital. You supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? You supposed to be at the hospital with your wife and she in labor and blah 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 blah. Child, he says, I'm trying to get these cakes, bang, baby. I need a break. That's literally what he was like. He was like, I have been at the hospital, but I need a break. I was like, oh, okay. So no, this wasn't for a coin. This was for free. This is just a hookup because he's somebody that he done got fined. He's somebody that I already hooked up with from a high school and da da da. That's an easy way. That's an easy ticket to get on my roster too. If you a nigga from my high school that I wanted to have that I didn't get a chance to have, you're gonna be on the mountain on the mount on the wall. A mount on the wall. Come on in. Let me add you to the collection. Let me put you on in the record books. I'm that girl. Whore. So I go over to his house. When I come into his house, it is a mountain of cocaine on the table. A mountain of cocaine. You would think that we were in the Scarface movie. A mountain of white powder that he is bagging up. Crazy. So oh, I forgot to show y'all. Y'all know I show y'all my fragrances. This is my not it's not a trap house, but clearly it is. This is the fragrance I'm wearing today. Make sure you thumbs up if you're listening. This is Fame. This little freaking bottle looks like a little robot. Isn't it cute? It is called Fame by Paco Rabanne. You can get it there. That's my Amazon. I think this shit smells so good. It is sexy. It is fire. It is delicious. I love it. It is amazing. Mm. Mm. Anyway, thumbs up if you listen. There's 64 people in here. Hey. Um. So I come in. He got all this dope on the table, and he is looking the most delicious that I have ever seen. He just looks so yummy. He was never this attractive. He just looks so good, and he's fitting way more fantasies and stereotypes that I liked. I'm from the '90s, so there's a fetishization of thugs and hood niggas, and we grew up with gangster rap, so that kind of that kind of thug hood nigga, dope dealer, that type of dude was kind of like fantasy, that kind of. So he was doing he's a dope dealer. He looking sexy. He got the little beard. He got the fire ass car. He got a fire ass house at the time. Uh, uh and he just is giving what he's giving. Yes, very woogie. A woogie woogie. And so I'm like, oh, this is giving what it is. So I come in, I'm looking good. I got the condoms, I got the lube, I got my whole bag with me. So it is what it is. It's like, yeah, he just doing what he need to do to get me way into him more than I had been in any previous time. And we're about to do stuff that we never did. So we go up to his bedroom and him and his wife's bedroom. And that's a taboo too. All of this is the layers upon layers of things. So hey Rosa. Rosa Sparks. Um it's the layers of eroticism, fantasies and taboos, and you could be getting caught. You could be, it's just so many things. Young, enjoying the moment. So we start having our session. So he gives me head. The head is garbage. Um, so we get to trying to do the plunge and stuff. So anybody who has ever had a first time nigga getting plunged, it is annoying because they is running, you can't just sometimes it's better when you got somebody who got experience because you can just get up in that thing and kind of dot, 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 dot. But when it's their first time, you gotta go slow. And I'm somebody that I need to be able to get up in them yams, or I'm gonna get soft because it's gonna be like, oh, I'm not turned on no more. But so we were just having this moment where it was just annoying me, and But eventually it got to work it out. So I get to wearing them cakes out. Boom, 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 boom. And it's a whole moment. We have a whole little moment. The session by the end, it started off rocky, but by the end, it was great. Um, yeah. So that was our second time hooking up when his baby mama, when his wife was in labor. Like I came over and wore his cakes out while she was literally in the hospital in labor. Like when we were done, he got up and took a shower and we I drove to my car. I got to my in my car and he got in his car and he was driving to the hospital. All right. So, ever since that moment, I hope she never sees this. It's more to the story. This is gonna be a long story, y'all. Um, Ever since that moment, me and Ronnie become what do I want to call? Let's just say we become secret confidants. So even if we're not having sex with each other, we are talking on the phone and not just about sex, like just about life shit. So ever since that moment, it shifts our relationship slightly outside of I don't want to say sex wasn't a part of it at all because it always end up leading back to that because he is a man. But it just shifted our relationship to be more outside of sex and more personable and more us talking about life shit. So this is 2003, 4. Okay. So from that moment till last week, we were friends enough to where we are talking about all our life shit. Okay. I mean, everything. Like all of his marriages, I am like a counselor for him. All each because he gets married twice. All of his marriages, all of his friendship issues, um, all his friendship issues, life issues, the ups and downs, the positives, whatever. We talk about it all. But I also navigate him about his sexuality too. Um, and one of the things um that I'll talk about that later. So let me skip to um when was the next time? All right, so I moved to a whole other state. I moved to Mississippi, then I moved to Texas. So in this time, we are still talking, we are still chatting. He adds me on his Facebook, maybe like in 2009, 10, somewhere around there. Like early in my YouTube days, whenever Facebook started to really get popping, when they opened it up to people who weren't just in college. Um, he added me on his list. So what started to happen? Lord, the wife seen the other videos. No, wait. We get there. We'll get there. Um, we what started to happen? I don't know if y'all. I'm pretty sure y'all went through this. If you trans, when you start adding people from your high school and shit, like you get what I'm saying? You start seeing what their life is like. You start seeing what they've been doing. Do they got kids? Do they, what they live in? And they started to, you get to see how you get to see who's mutual friends. Facebook get to suggestion you people. It was like, oh, that's such and such from high school. Let me add them. Let me add them. So mind you, I don't have my old name. So you only gonna add me if you see my face and know me. And so sometimes people will add me not knowing who I am, or I add them, and you get what I'm saying? It just, you get what I'm saying? That's how it is. Like sometimes they like, you don't know, they don't know that you are that person. And some of them do know that you are that person. And so Ronnie, because we've been talking since high school, Ronnie know who the fuck I am. So when we add each other, we know who each other is. So they had this little group of called Young Funny. So this is when Young Money was coming out. Like they was getting big. Drake and Nicki and da 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 da. Young Money was popping. She had 5 Star Chick out. She was, you get what I'm saying? Young Money was growing. So they did this little group on Facebook called Young Funny. And what it is they will randomly pick somebody in the group and post a picture, and then everybody is supposed to roast in the comments, like roast the person. So he added me to the group. Now, mind you, I'm already in a group like this. So there's a creator on here named Barrett TV. Me and Barrett had already had it, but he added me to this group of people who just, it's called Mayhem. And the whole point of the group is to terrorize people. Roast them, talk about them. It just, that's the whole point of the group. Like it's the whole point. And this is like late 2000s, 2010s, early 2010. No, late 2000, the late aughts. I don't, what do y'all call that? It's the aughts? What do y'all call that? 2001 through 2010. Like is it, some people call it the aughts. What do y'all call it? So like 2007, 8, 9, 10, 2010, 11, 12, 13. So during this time, and it lasted for probably like 10 years. Mayhem was nuts. Yeah, that's accurate. The aughts. So yes. So the late aughts and the early 2010s. This group, this Mayhem group with me and Barrett, lasted about 10 years. And so the aughts or the 2000s. Yeah. So it lasted about 10 years. So we started probably in 2007 and it ended in 2000, like 17, 16, 17. So the whole point of the group is to terrorize people online, to roast them. And we even had like a counter that was, it was called breaking points, where you need to get people to go off on you, go off the handle, like totally crash out. The goal is to get them to crash out. You read them, and it's no boundaries. Like you read their kids, you read their dead mama, you read like the whole point of the group is to get people to crash out. So it don't matter how far you go. You call their job, if you can find their job numbers. We young and online, so baby, we out here wear it out. He is actually a pioneer on YouTube content. He paved the way. Yeah, I love Barrett. We are the early old heads of YouTube. Barrett is I love Barrett. At the time, I don't love him now. We not cool now. Because we're not cool because for 10 years we have terrorized the internet and each other. So it has been a moment of it's not, nobody is exempt. Outside people or inside people. You go as far as you can go. That is the point. It is the point of the group. You either in or you out. We do too much. We intentionally do too much. So I want y'all to grasp that. It is over the top. We done got people fired. We done found out people mamas is buried in the wrong place. Like we investigate and deep dive, and the point is to terrorize you. So I just want y'all to get that. So this is the type of group that I had already been in. And so it's a couple of groups. Like there is a trans girl group like this too, with the white girls and the trans girls, and the white trans girls and the black trans girls. And it was just brutal in regarding spilling tea about trans girl tea. It was y'all was toxic as hell. We were. And that was the point. How toxic we can go was the point. Like, that's the goal. It's called mayhem. And Facebook was, in a way, at the time, I don't know if y'all remember this, but if you put somebody in a group message in Facebook, they hadn't fixed it. They couldn't leave. Even if they leave, just because they're in the list, it was still it would still pop up in their inbox. So they couldn't block it. They couldn't stop it. So we would add people just to add. And there was this one time where we add all these real life comedians, like, oh, like kind of not like A-list comedians, but like Bill Bellamy, those kind of Corey Holcomb, like, and we would terrorize them. We would put them all in a group. Or if because I'm fine and sexy, sometimes the comedians will live for me because they thinking I'm a cisgender girl, and they will add me to these groups, and then I'll add all of mayhem in, and we will terrorize the group, sending nudes in the group, and it would ruin their little marketing scheme because they using the group to market their events, and we putting porn in there, gay porn, we put in two girls, one cup. We just is terrorizing the whole scene. And because they comedians, they want to start roasting us and doxing us. But you can't dox me because you can't find my shit. You can't dox me, bitch. But what you gonna roast us? You gonna find out I'm trans and then tell people I'm trans? Oh, ooh, you found out I'm trans. Ooh. But we would be terrorizing. This is the type of stuff that we would do. And it was fun and sickening. So Ronnie had a group like that, except it wasn't as. Our goal was to not only do it online, we wanted to bring some offline stuff too. Yeah, so we was wearing it out. So it was so fun and so good. Why me and Barrett fell out is because Barrett's grandmother died, and she was like 90 something, like 96. And there ain't no rules in mayhem. So when my grandmother died, they was roasting my grandmother and being rude about my grandma. There's some people tried to they didn't try to fight me, but they tried to fight Barrett and fight people that they could find. We were all over the world though, like mostly in the United States, but we would but there were some people from around the globe that was in it. It was like 20 people. And so it was a whole thing. Um Wait, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. So nobody was exempt. So all of us, everybody, like even the people in the group, if some tea gets spilled about your real life, people gonna roast you about that. So when my grandmother died, even though I don't care about my grandma, they Barrett and the people were trying to use the moment to roast me. But I'm the queen of this shit. Like the people who had the most breaking points was me and Barrett. So he the king, I'm the queen, and we would tag team. It would just be dope. So it was like a competition who could get the most breaking points. So in that regards, they couldn't really get me because it was nothing to get. Like there wasn't only secret I tell all my business on the internet. So it's nothing that you could really find out about me. And I just didn't have any tea for you to exploit. You feel what I'm saying? So, because everything was out in the open. um, but when Barrett's grandmother died, we give him the same treatment, but he couldn't take the heat. And he is the ultimate breaking point because he's the king. And so I'm the queen. So when I get to roasting his grandma and making it worse and wearing out her obituary and hitting up his dad about it. And like I got pictures of me and him and his dad. I got his real biological father, like because I done came to visit and it just is I get to wearing his grandma out. I get to wear him out. And nobody expected it, but he crashes out. And so I get the ultimate point. That was the ultimate pleasure. We were in competition with each other. Why would he not expect y'all to roast his grandma? That's what we all said. That's what we all said. After 10 years of us all crashing out on anybody and everybody, including ourselves, you crash out about your 90-something-year-old grandma and get to a breaking point, and he kicks me out of the group. And I basically I won the game because it's all a game. You want to get the most points. It was crazy. Yeah, so that is what happened with I was already part of one of those groups. So I already was used to reading and roasting people, da da da. So when Ronnie adds me to his young funny group, Ronnie, back to Ronnie, when he adds me to his young funny group, I get to roast it and I get to becoming one of the funniest people in the group. So I start getting a lot of attention and niggas started adding me on Facebook, like started adding me and da 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 da. So people who recognize me would slide in Ronnie's DMs and be like, you know, that's old boy from our high school, right? That doesn't transition to be a woman. That's not no real woman. That's old boy that sued the high school, that sued Arlington, and blah, 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 blah. And Ronnie is like, nigga, you think I don't know who that is? Like, why are you coming in my inbox about Diamond? I know Diamond. I went to school with her. I know who that is. Why are you coming in my inbox? So Ronnie is sending me screenshots of niggas from our high school coming into his inbox telling him that I'm trans. And so I would slide in their inbox and start roasting them. Nigga, he know what the fuck I am. You ain't blocking nothing. You trying to get some of his booty. We cool. Like, nigga, like, what the fuck is you doing? Why are you worried about what this nigga doing? You supposed to be straight. What the fuck are you doing? So I'm going off on niggas. So it got to the point where Ronnie had to publicly on his status say, yo, I know who the fuck my friends are. This is my friend, been my friend. I'm not gonna stop fucking with them. I'm cool with them. Them is my people. I fuck with them. Now, he ain't saying we get down, but he is saying, y'all not gonna make me stop fucking with Diamond. I don't know why y'all is on here tripping. We roasting. We ain't worried about no motherfucking sexuality and shit. Why y'all even on that? Like, if you, what the fuck? So he publicly is saying this type of stuff. Child, she sent him to doing only Golden Girls content. Facts. So when he started doing that Golden Girl content, that's when it was going on. So I enjoyed that about Ronnie. Ronnie's putting his kind of foot in the sand of, I'm still gonna be cool with her. Like, y'all not gonna bully me into not fucking with her. So he didn't turn it into a down low nigga, like shameful. Oh, I gotta not talk about it. No, he proclaimed, this is my friend. I'm gonna be fucking with this motherfucker, regardless if y'all like it or not. I'm not deleting them. I like them. They cool. They been my friend. I know they trans. We went to high school together, motherfuckers. It's not a secret. She don't keep it. It's not a secret. You're not telling me some fucking secret. So he kind of calls them out about it. If you're watching, thumbs it up. Thumbs up. Let me see. For some reason, my little what's it called? Those little things, they don't do it no more. They cut off my little anime things. Anyway, animation things. So, you know, I thought that was cute. Like him proclaiming that publicly, and We've been friends this long ass time behind the scenes, and him proclaiming it publicly, I fucked with that. That made me like him even more. Even though we've been fucking with each other for years and I like him just as a person, just because we had got closer, just the fact that he did this publicly, it was like, oh, I love that. Is your iOS update on your laptop? Yes, I actually updated it recently. Did that take it away? So they might have took it away. But yeah, I recently updated it. So that might have took it away. Anyway, so oh that sucks. Um so I'm giving y'all this part of the story because it's letting you know how I'm feeling about Ronnie. Not no emotional, romantic, oh, I want to be in a relationship with him. No, but it solidifies our friendship and my protection of Ronnie. Okay. So even though we've messed around, I know he a down low nigga. I defend him. You get what I'm saying? Ronnie is my friend. Like so, and because of this take us to a even more deeper level because he's publicly saying that's my motherfucking friend, and I'm not gonna stop fucking with them. So y'all can kick rocks. You get what I'm saying? I like that type of shit. I like niggas like that. So cool. Even though he's not coming out saying, "Oh, I fuck with her," and he's still being down low, but he's saying, "Y'all can't make me stop fucking with my friend." I respect it. I like it. It took us to a whole other level. So let me tell you what's going on in Ronnie's life across this time. Ronnie, oh, I gotta go back. I forgot to. This is another part of the story. I've told y'all this story before, but this is more focused on my friend Mario. But for anybody who is new that hasn't heard this story, I wanted to tell this part of the story. Another element story. So I told y'all three things that happened, two things so far. Well, three things. So I told y'all about the psychology class situation. I told y'all about my cousin Duke and the connection between me, him, and Ronnie, me having Ronnie and embarrassing him. And then Ronnie coming over my house with my two friends, Keever and Dominique, and he trying to do a threesome, and I kick him out. So I'm giving you all this tea. So we see what the tea is with Ronnie. Ronnie is just dick hungry. We're on the same page with that, right? This is just a fetish for Ronnie. He's romantically attracted to women, but he likes the sexuality of penis. He likes getting fucked. He likes that, the taboo nature of it. So this is who he is. Um which I would consider like bi. So another layer of Ronnie that I didn't know at the time in high school. When I was in high school, he had graduated already. And remember, I told y'all we were still coming to the choir class. Y'all know, that song by Lamar Campbell. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just got to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. Y'all remember that song by Lamar Campbell? It came out like 25 years ago. I love you, Jesus. It was a gospel song that was really, really big. Before that song came out, Lamar is from Indianapolis. He lives in Indianapolis. And so that song, before it came out as a single, he used our choir to work it out. Like we heard the song, we learned the song, and watched him create the song. So in that moment, we all was like there was like a gospel moment happening in the Midwest. And people who fucked with singing and fucked with choirs and like Rodney Bryant was popping, Richard Smallwood was popping, Ricky Dillard was popping. But in this moment, Lamar Campbell was creating more than anything that song, which becomes a gospel classic. And we were the choir that he had access to work it out. Before he actually records it, we were the choir. So, because this magical gospel moment is happening, anybody that fucked with gospel was trying to be a part of this thing. So, me, Ronnie would like to sing. I like to sing. Anybody who could fucking sing, who wanted, who was into that, the culture of gospel music, we wanted to be a part of this moment. So we was in a gospel choir, and he was working it out with us, working the song out through us. Okay. So, but Ronnie wasn't in high school no more. So he still could come sing, but he wasn't in high school no more. Anyway, when I have Ronnie in my senior year, I tell my gay friend Mario. And if y'all remember, me and Mario had this weird kind of competition shit with me. And this was around that time where he loved to hear my stories. Like it was a hard thing with him. He loved to hear my stories. He loved me to turn niggas out, but he kind of was jealous of it too. So it was kind of like a double-edged sword with him. So he loved to hear me talk about it, but he also was jealous too. So when I tell him about Ronnie, he doesn't go to our school. So I'm actually comfortable with telling Mario, not just because he don't go to our school, but because Mario is my good friend right now. And so I'm like, oh, so I would have told him anyway, because this is my good gay friend, and there's a loyalty there that I expected from my Butch Queen homeboy. Like, you loyal to me because we queer. So, nigga, I expected that. So I tell Mario all the tea that went on with Ronnie. And he's the only one that I tell. No. It's two people that my cousin Duke, remember, because Duke is the one who hooked the situation up. So I needed to tell him. And then my cousin, and then my best friend Mario. Are y'all still here? If it gets quiet, I'll be feeling like it's freezing. So I want to make sure I don't need to refresh it. Y'all good? Y'all still here? Okay, cool. So because Mario it doesn't go to my school, because he doesn't go to my school, he doesn't, and he's my gay best friend. I feel real comfortable with telling him everything that went on. And so I didn't feel like it would turn into nothing because he didn't go to our school. It felt safe. So one time I go to choir, and it's after school, and we are at rehearsal. We're at choir rehearsal, and we're like practicing the songs with Lamar, and this is what's going on. And I'm about to go. I leave out the room, and I'm about to go to the bathroom, and Ronnie, who was a tenor, comes up to me outside in the hallway. It's just us alone, and he comes up to me, and he is aggressively confronting me about a rumor of us messing around. Now, mind you, I've only told two people, Duke and Mario. And so I'm like, what are you talking about? And how he comes up to me was real aggressive and hard. And that's a trigger for me. You can't come to me all aggressive and hard like you trying to punk me, because even if I'm no matter what the situation is, it's gonna make me respond to you way more harsher than I should, because I don't like the feeling of being punked. I don't like that's a trigger for me. I don't like the feeling of somebody trying to be fearful, like try to fear me or punk me or make me weak or bully me. Especially at this age. I'm like 17 at that time. Um, and so I don't like how he's coming at me. And my response, anytime somebody confronts me about something, like if say, "Oh, I heard you said this," or such and such told me that you had something to say. Like if somebody is coming to me like that, even if it's not true, my response isn't, "I didn't say that." My response is, because you trying to come and punk me, my response is, "What if I did? What would you gonna do?" Even if I didn't say it, I'm the type of bitch that's gonna say, "Oh, what if I did? What would you gonna do to me?" Well, let's pretend that I did say that. What you gonna do? And so in that moment, when Ronnie came to me on that aggressive ass, "Why the fuck you out here telling my business," and or whatever, however he came to me, it was on some shit. And when I turned into that, when I turned into nigga, who the fuck you think you talking to? If I did tell somebody, who the fuck what you gonna do? You was gonna be my ass? Then do what you gotta do. Nigga, I don't know who the fuck you think you talking to. Like, you don't, and mind you, because I'm doing this, there's no audience. It's just me, him, and in the hallway. So it's not like I'm embarrassing him. It's nigga, I will beat your ass. And I'm not doing this to front in front of people. I will beat your ass right here, right now. Don't come to me like that. And so in that moment, he punks out. Because there's no audience. It's just me and him in the hallway alone. And so when he come at me like that, I'm like, nigga, who the fuck you think? I don't know who the fuck you think you talking to, but what you weren't gonna do nothing to me. So this aggressive shit that you got going on, that you coming at me at, nip that in the butt, because I'll beat your ass. And Ronnie done seen me fight. I done fought straight niggas in my school. So you don't want to get embarrassed in this motherfucking, whether you beat me or not, you know it's not gonna be an easy win. And so, nigga, you know I got hands and I'm gonna give them to you. So what the fuck? Don't come to me like how you coming. So his whole tone changed in being pussy and being weak. He turned into a pussy. Like, yo, no, it ain't that serious like that. Because at first he was coming like hard. And then when I came back with just as hard, he totally backed down. But I still hadn't figured out who brought that to him, because I only told two people. And I know it wasn't Duke, because that's not how Duke moved. So I went and talked to Mario and told Mario about it. And Mario came clean and said, "Oh, basically, Mario's other friend, who is a cisgender girl, is talking to Ronnie. Her name is Brandy. Brandy is a very obese, plus size girl. And this is the first time that I learned about, I didn't call it this, but I learned about like fat phobia and how fat phobia was living in me in a way that I never noticed before. But this is a lesson. This is a life lesson. You and Brandy used to be? No, not at all. Brandy is a this is a fat phobia lesson for me of my life, where Brandy was so big that I didn't even Brandy was invisible to me. I'm pretty sure in the way that some people invisibilize me as a trans woman, I did the same thing to Brandy. She was so big, ain't no niggas fucking with her. She fat. Now, mind you, I'm a high schooler, so this immature mindset as a high schooler, I'm just telling y'all, that's where I was at. And so she fat. There ain't nobody fucking with Brandy. For Brandy is fat, and ain't nobody trying to fuck with Brandy like that. Da, da, da. I never would have thought Brandy was pulling anybody, let alone Ronnie. All the niggas that, all the people that was loving on Ronnie, and Ronnie is fucking with Brandy, fat ass. What? Now, y'all see the hypocrisy, because just like nobody would think that Ronnie was fucking with the tranny. Do you see what I'm saying? But Ronnie was also messing with the big girl. Because not only does Ronnie have a fetish for penis, he also has a fetish for like big girls with rolls, like big. I'm not talking about just thick. I'm talking about big girls with rolls, roly poly big girls. And so that is something that Ronnie like loves. And so I learned in this moment that you cannot judge a book by its cover. You don't know what people like. And in your younger years, people, when it's something that goes out of the normal box, people fucking hide it. People lie about it. People lied about jacking off. People lied about eating pussy and sucking dick and even having sex. And people were lying about most of the shit that they were fucking doing. And I learned in that situation that niggas be liking big girls too. Because I hadn't grown into a woman. I hadn't gotten big at all. I was bony as hell. I was living in a fat phobic world, thinking that nobody was attracted to big people because people was roasting big people. And so that gagged me. So Mario went and told her that I messed around with Ronnie, and she went and confronted Ronnie about me. And so Ronnie came and told me. So that's how that came out. But I learned that Ronnie also had a fetish for big girls. So Ronnie's wife, who was in labor, was a big bitch. Big. He married her because she was pretty and big. That is his tea. That is what he likes. That is what he loves. He marries big women. We talk about 300 pounds. We talk about bigums. He liked the ones with the rolls. When I got big, I was a trans big with rolls. Baby, Ronnie loved me when I was big and thick. It's his favorite. Baby, when I got big, only thing that I did not have that Ronnie also liked is I wasn't brown. Because Ronnie don't like light-skinned girls. He like brown girls, like chocolate girls. So if I was big, trans, and brown, baby, whoo, I probably could have snatched Ronnie on up. He like brown girls. That's his type. Like he like dark brown. So the only thing that took me out of his perfect realm is that I was light skinned. You would have walked down the aisle, right? He would have been trying to lock me in, baby, because I had all of his stuff. If I was brown, baby, oh God. Um, so okay, I give y'all that story to understand that he too, that goes back to, remember what I said, the 3 things that make niggas down low. If they fetishize big girls, if they fetishize white girls and if they clown. So he has the class clown and he has the fetishize the big girls. He don't like white girls. So so what happens in his life is his wife is big. And so she gets the gastric sleeve surgery. I think her name is Keita. So Keita gets the sleeve. Now Ronnie is telling her. Now Ronnie is not big. He thicker, but he not. I wouldn't consider him big, but he's not. Especially at this time when he was with Keita, he was a small nigga. Like he was just, he had a little, 26, 27, between that kind of weight that men gain when they're like in their late 20s, but not big at all. But he attractive, he fine, he this hood nigga with the cars and the money and da 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 da. So Keita is not in this kind of and maybe as a big girl, I've heard this from big girls a lot. Sometimes when they get niggas that love them, they don't believe that they love them. And that's how their relationship was. She didn't understand that this is literally what he likes. And so she thinking, you just telling me you like my body to just kind of please me. You really would prefer me to be smaller. But it's not him, it's her. She's fat phobia, internalized. She got internalized fat phobia and she wants the surgery for herself. But she tries to make it seem like when he tell her, no, baby, don't lose weight. I like you how you are. I married you because I like your body how it is. She's not believing him. Even though her surgery is supposed to be for herself, but he's explaining to her that, yo, no, I like how you are. I don't want you to be small. The whole point, Ronnie went through a process of where he was hiding that he likes big girls because of fat phobia in the world. And then he went through a process where I'm not hiding what I like no more. I like big bitches. And so he found him a big bitch and he married her. So his own journey in dealing with fat phobia was, I used to hide that I like big girls, but I don't want people to know. But now I'm grown. I'm a grown ass man. So I'm not gonna hide that I like big girls no more. I can like big girls. I'm fucking with them. And so I married one. What if she wanted it for herself and health reasons? That's not what it was. It was vanity. Um So it's like Ronnie went to the other extremes or the opposite end of the spectrum. I don't know what you mean by that. Explain that to me. Um, so she got the surgery. She got a gastric bypass. And so she lost all this weight. And Ronnie left her. Ronnie cheated on her with another big girl. And it caused them problems and she divorced him. I'm sorry. He didn't leave her, but he cheated on her with a big girl cuz he likes big girls. And she finds out and she leaves him. They get a divorce. And so Ronnie blamed, instead of just like a nigga. Now remember, I told y'all what he done did. He done cheated on her with me while she was in labor. He done cheated on her with another cisgender big girl. And he done messed with a butch queen. So he ain't faithful at all. But he ain't gonna hold himself accountable either. He blamed his divorce on the surgery. Instead of it being about his infidelity and him not being committed to his wife, he blamed it on she got small. And I told her to not get small. But you was already cheating on her before she got the surgery. And so remember, I told you that we would be talking about his family stuff. So I would be The person telling him, nigga, no, that's not how it worked. You was already cheating. You was already cheating. I know you was cheating because I was one of the motherfuckers you was cheating with. So stop trying to sit here on this phone and and try to dog Keita out and make it seem like she had so low self-esteem that she had to go get these surgeries, and it affected y'all relationship because she didn't believe that you loved her and da 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 da. That may be a small element of something, but nigga, she left you because you was cheating, and you was cheating before she got the surgery. So it's you that ain't shit. And he hated. There's two things going on. I'm I'm being his friend and keeping it real with him. He's venting to me about his problems, and I'm being his friend and keeping it real with him. But I am also one of his fetishes, and intertwined. One of the fetishes that he has is, of course, the trans thing. But he also, because he is a nigga that a lot of bitches chase after, he's one of them dudes who actually like you to dog him out, like a femdom. He wants you to talk shit to him. He wants you to almost belittle him and be condescending to him. Like that's a part of his eroticism too. Most women, cisgender women, treat him like a king, chase after him and give him whatever he want. He actually, so that because of that, that's his default. He's actually turned on by the opposite. So while I'm confronting him about his hypocrisy in his relationship, I'm also degrading him. That would be a lot for one person to deal with all of these fetishes. Everybody has a lot of shit that they like. I don't think it's a lot to deal with. Everybody's sexuality has a lot of nuances. It's not simple. Um, but I wouldn't say that it's hard because all of these is just inside of him. These ain't something that's on from the outside looking in. He just looked like a straight nigga that like big bitches. That's you. And he's compartmentalizing all of the shit. So anytime I come to the city, we hooking up. So he on. That's just. And he's just, yeah, it's just that's how he is. I don't think it's hard for him. I don't think it's hard. I think it's, and he has somebody to talk through it. Me, imagine me being your therapist. I can sit and talk to you through all of your shit personally. He got somebody reasonable to talk to him about it, who can give him the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so I have helped him for years work through a lot of his shit and build his relationship back up with his wife, actually, where they are in a good place. um, and so that's where we was at. I was telling him that nigga, you was cheating and da 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 da. So he gets a new wife, Shani. Now Shani, oh God. Now Keita, she cute, but Shani, oh God, Shani is a Barbie doll. Shani is she a big girl, but she is to me, I think she's the most beautiful bitch that he's had. Shani is Shani looks like what does Shani looks like? She don't look like nobody, but if I'm to give you somebody the level that she's on, Shani is giving you like Phaedra Parks when she kind of upgraded, but prettier, like prettier Phaedra. Like she kind of looked like Temperance a little bit, like Temperance, the trans ball girl, but she kind of looks like I don't know. It's just a Gabrielle Union level. Yeah, but she's a big girl, but that kind of darker brown Dubai Phaedra. Yes, like a just a she's a gorgeous dark brown girl. Is it would it be petty if I showed y'all a picture? No, that's I don't want to do that. No. Um this is one of, if you know, you know moment. But she's on that level. She's like a she's just like a chocolate. She just looks like a baby doll to me. She looks like a just like a bad bitch. Like, and she's like, and she like being a girl. She's a femme, a high femme, makeup, hair. She's that. She's like a big girls be fine like that. Not all of them. No, I want to make a distinction. This is a big girl with a mug and with a body that's like she's the big girl that's acceptable. She rolly, but that kind of pear shape, that kind of figure eight shape. Because you know, there's a type of big girl that people don't fuck with. But this is a type of big girl that's acceptable because it's like a pear shape. It's like a big booty, big thighs, big titties, small waist still, but still good. That that kind of still figure eight Coke bottle. Yeah, but it's just big. They still be fucking with girls like that because of the shape of it. And Shani was one of them. But not only did she have that body shape, she had that mug. The mug was sickening. So this was an upgrade for Ronnie. Like to me, it was an upgrade for Ronnie. To me, this is one of the first girls who, you know how you have a couple and the dude will be eating the girl up or the girl will be eating the dude up. This to me, this is the first time Ronnie been in a relationship where his girl is eating him up. Like you can look at him. Usually it would be like, oh, how did she pull him? But with Shani, it's like, how did he pull her? That. So she was his equal in regards to equal or more to me. Um, she was his equal in regards to the look apartment. Does that make sense? Oh, I do agree. These days, the ones who do that high film are, oh, the shapeism of it all. That's what I'm imagining. Yes. Yes, she has a typical shape that people like in big girls, where thighs is big, ass is big, waist is small, titties big. So he gets with Shiny and they get a house. They get he remarries, get married to Shiny. He divorced Keita divorces him, get remarried to Shiny. Do they have one kid or two kids? I think him and Keita has two kids, a son and a daughter. And then he married Shiny. They don't have any kids. Um, and then Shani Shani, just like Keita, because she's big, she got weight issues. That Kiki Sheer type girl. Yes, but prettier. Not that Kiki isn't ugly. Kiki's ugly, but Kiki is regular. Shani is pretty, like stunning. You see, she look like Precious. She like Precious. Y'all know the plus size model Precious. What Precious something? She got that kind of mug, Precious kind of mug. That kind of that Takara from just think of like a dark skinned Takara from um um what is it? American Next Top Model. That kind of mug, like modelistic face. Anyway, she pretty. She pretty as hell. Like a high level. Um, high level pretty. Precious Lee, yeah, Precious, Takara Jones, that kind of high level face. Where even if she didn't have no body, that mug is getting her through. The high level face, but she also had a sickening body. Anyway, her and Ronnie get together, and this is his new wife. And they are starting to do that kind of stuff middle-aged husband and wife do. They're traveling, they going to Egypt, they going to places, and they're living the life. But Shani don't want to be big. Yes, top model. Shani don't want to be big. Shani don't want to be a big girl. So Shani, just like his first wife, gets the surgery. Even though he tells her, no, don't get the surgery, please. I am being faithful to you. Even though he was not, he still was cheating on her with me. But he didn't have nobody else but me. But in his mind, because I don't count, I am being faithful to you. Please don't get the surgery. Don't get the surgery. Don't get the surgery. But she gets the surgery. And she gets to losing weight. And she just becomes a bad bitch. And she ends up divorcing Ronnie. So this devastates Ronnie because he feels like, unlike his first wife Keita, who he did do wrong with Shani, he feels like I did the best I could with Shani. Like I really put my best foot forward. I was trying to go above and beyond to create a home and safe for her. He was like, I felt like I did my best with her. And so she gets the surgery and leaves. Oh my God. So he goes through a depression. He loses his house. She moves out. He loses his house. Another layer of him and Shani's relationship is Shani comes from I think she comes from like a middle class family, and he not a middle class nigga. He a street nigga that works. He a working class nigga. And so she wanted that middle class life, not to work, to stay at home. He got almost grown kids. His baby mama lives in fucking Dallas. So he got kids, but he ain't got like the responsibility of the kids at the time until his son comes. When his son, because Keita ends up giving his son to him and lives with him, and the girl stays with her in Dallas. And you get what I'm saying? It's a whole situation where the son lives with Ronnie, but the daughter doesn't, because they feel like the son needs a father figure. The daughter might not, even though he's in both of their lives. It's not, he's in both of their lives. They just, the mom end up moving to another city. And so, because she has her own life and da da da. So, but he's not a deadbeat dad. But she ships the son to him. So when he's with Shani, the son, they live in he's trying to give Shani this life. So yeah. And so it doesn't work out and blah, 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 blah. So he goes through this depression. And of course, because he's going through this depression, he's calling and talking to his therapist, aka me. And telling me about all of his business and all his insecurities and all of his concerns and all of his. He was like, man, when I was selling dope and I had all this money, everybody was in my face begging and asking. Now that I'm going through hard times and not selling dope no more, motherfuckers can't help me, and nobody is fucking here for me. Everybody is taking her side, and his father passes away, and he's going through all of these hard times. And so I'm there talking him through these things and being a friend. And yeah, we have very difficult conversations. All right. So now we're coming towards the end. So I'm giving y'all all of that throughout every single one of our conversations throughout the years. Yes, we go through the serious conversations about life, But every single time, it never fails. Ronnie is going to talk about something about sex. And so he hates that I tell him, "You fetishize me, Ronnie." He was like, "No, I think of you as a real friend. And do. I don't fetishize you." Yes, you do, Ronnie. I do. I think both can be true. I think that you do think of me as a real friend, but I'm to me, I am just a human trans blow up doll to you. I just so happen to be intelligent and I can talk you through your drama. But I'm still just a fetish for you. That's just the truth of a matter of the matter. And I'm not offended by it because I know what it is. I know what the nature of our relationship. I know what it is. And so it's not an offensive thing. It's just what it is. So I don't understand why you're offended when I say it. He was like, "Because I think of you more than sex stuff. We talk about stuff that don't have anything to do with sex." Ronnie, every time we talk, it end up on sex. Yeah, we go through your problems. We go through talking about serious life stuff, your life stuff. Tell me about my life stuff. You don't know nothing about my life stuff because you don't really care. It's really our relationship is one-sided. And it's okay with me because I like having a hometown boo that I can get some head from when I come back. And Ronnie feeds my ego. If I'm not feeling like a bad bitch, I can call Ronnie, and Ronnie is gonna make me feel like a bad bitch. So it's an exchange, and I don't lose nothing because all we do is talk. When I come to the city, Ronnie gonna pay for me a hotel room. When I it that's just what it is. It's I know what it is, but he feels offended when I lay it out like that. I'm a fetish for you, Ronnie. And he feels offended when I say the reason why your relationships don't work out is because you don't see your marriages didn't work out is because you don't see your wives as human. That's why when they get the surgery, you don't care about them no more because you're only fucking with them because they pretty and fat. You're not fucking with them for anything outside of that. You fetishize them too. And that's why when they get skinny, it ends. You ain't trying you're not invested in working it out no more. You move on to another fat girl. And here we go in relationship 3 and she's fat, but she's homely. So you pick somebody who is not as pretty as Keita, not as pretty as Shani, somebody who is fat and homely and want to stay fat and lazy and whatever. And so you pick somebody with that kind of low self-esteem again, except more than likely she too poor to go get some surgeries. And he hates when I tell him that. But it's the truth. So recently, in the past, whatever this podcast bro shit, this Kevin Samuel shit, this kind of rise in toxic niggas, like making content and sharing shit and saying dumb shit about women. How long have y'all feel like that has been kind of peaking? Of course, it's been going on for millennia, but I'm talking about this new level of vitriol that's happening. The fresh and fit niggas, the podcast bros, passport bros, and this kind of new era of toxicity. It's been about like maybe like a year before COVID, because I would, yeah, yeah. So let's say about you saying 2016. Uh, I would say like a yeah, I think it sparked with Trump. I would say it sparked with Trump, but it started to get real bad like around 2019, 2020, COVID, everybody got fucking podcast mics. So when that shit starting to happen, dudes either were silent or they just got bad. It just got worse. And Ronnie was one of those people who got worse. He didn't become a Trump supporter, but that misogyny shit really started to so he would make these comments like the one that triggered me recently. He was talking about the soft life. All these women, if you're watching, thumbs up. If you're just tuning in, thumbs up. These women talking about the soft life and bitch. Um, he just talking negatively about the soft life, and you can tell by how he's talking about it that he don't know shit about it. You're not even listening to women. I can tell you're not listening to women. It's 2025, 2020, 2016. Yeah, I think it may have started in that kind of mid 2010s during that kind of Trump era and that anti-Hillary. I think that sparked a shift in the culture. But I think 2020, 2019, 2020, that mid level between this past 10 years, because it's 2025, that mid level, it's something ramped it up. Something like morphed it. And I think it was COVID. So so he said something about soft life. So when he say some misogynist shit, I feel like it's my responsibility. If my friends are being racist, if my friends are being anti-black, if my friends are being colorist, if my friends are being misogynistic, I feel like it's my job to not to fix you, but to call you in, to be like, yo, like, let me talk to you. So he was one of them people who I would get in his inbox and I would be like, nigga, what the fuck is you on? Like, if you don't get your ass off this fucking, this is not who you are. Get your ass out of this fucking misogynistic bullshit. Like, you is tripping. You don't know nothing about what you're talking about, and you hear one little portion of it and you don't align yourself with the misogynistic point of view of it because your algorithm got you in that bubble, and I need to check your ass, and this is what I'm doing. So I'm not gonna comment on this post. I'm gonna come in your inbox because I don't want to embarrass you, but I'm also calling you out about your hypocrisy. And one of the things that I call him out about is you want to be misogynistic, but you don't know that patriarchy fucking affects your fucking life. One of the reasons why you talk so much shit about women being able to be free with their sexuality and you can't is because of patriarchy, because of misogyny, and because of the homophobia that's built in within it. So you out here being a down low fucking agate in living in shame, calling my phone, crying about how you can't be yourself and you got and women got it good because they can go out here and have sex with women and not be ostracized about their sexuality. And you, the reason why that dynamic exists, you making it seem like it's a woman problem, but that is a man problem. That is a patriarchy problem. Y'all uphold those rules. And so we going back and forth in the comments, not in the comments, in our inbox, where I'm just reading him. I'm like, you are a fake, you are a phony, and you are hypocritical, and you are this ain't even who you are. These fucking talking points, this fucking misogynistic talking, but this ain't who you are. You would be more free. If you want, you should be wanting a soft life too. You living a hard life hiding who you are. The same thing that motivates women to want a soft life is the world that you're battling against. The same thing. And so it gets heated. I'm cussing him out, and he calls my. What happens is if we talking in the phone in the chat box, and it gets too heated, he will call me because remember, there's a fetish going on too. He wants to be degraded, so he knows we're gonna get in a hard, heated conversation, and it's gonna turn him on. And by the end of the conversation, he gonna be talking about sucking cocks and getting fucked. So this is a cycle. So that was the last time. So this recent time, and it usually don't have anything to do with me. So I'm not really ever like personally offended. But yeah. So I want to read what the last one, what took it over the top for me to where I always was defending his shenanigans. Trying to find it to make sure that I so y'all can see why it triggered me. It's so far away. Like he shares a lot of the Kevin Samuel shit. I don't know. I can't find it. He may have deleted it. So he says something that revolves around the surgery in Ozempic, and being that I am somebody who got the surgery. Oh, here it goes. Boom. He says 95% of women do not have weight loss journeys in 2025. They have surgeries and medications. That ain't a journey. That that's finding the secret plumbing tube on Mario to skip the board and get straight to Koopa. And I ain't mad at it, just don't cap about it. And then he goes into the comments and says, hard work is not in the gym. It is secondary, but as important. Da, 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 da. Talk about using. He's basically shitting on people who got surgery. Great. Cool. I'm somebody who got surgery. So now I'm triggered by this post. And so somebody, my homegirl from Indianapolis, she says, she says, I had my weight loss journey in 2025 with surgery, and ain't no capping, but you still got to work to maintain. Da 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 da. And some people was like, "Nigga, what they got to do with you? Who cares how we got here? The point is we done lost the weight and da da da." It's just different people commenting, but you got the niggas in the comments saying dumbass shit and blah blah blah. So this triggers me. It pisses me off, and so I post on my own. And I have never posted about him specifically, but it's about him because I knew too many details about his life because I know I know who he is. I know the whole situation. And so now I'm trying to find the message. 1 second. And if you know him and his story, yeah. And then our friend Pooh dies. That's another element that kind of wore me out because I had a queer friend that was similar to Ronnie, who just recently passed, but except Pooh is just like Ronnie, except it's not. Ronnie doesn't like trans girls. Ronnie likes boys, but he has a girlfriend. He got kids. He j- and when me and Pooh talk, me and Pooh talk about you know shit like that. All right, so here it goes. So on my Facebook, who we have a lot of mutual friends. My sister got receipts. Yes, for them. Yes, we have a lot of mutual friends. And so I say, this is on February 20th. I say, sir, you are a recovering cokehead alcoholic with multiple failed marriages, barely making it through life. You socially peaked in high school and never grew into any success. You're still in the closet hiding that you like dick in your mouth and your butt for decades now. But on Facebook, you worried about other people capping about weight loss journeys and surgeries. You have too many issues to be concerned about somebody else's journey. If we're keeping it real, your whole fucking life has been a fake journey of pretending to be cool, straight, and liking just women. You marry big girls because you fetishizes them, just like you fetishize dick. And due to their low self-esteem, they are easy to manipulate. They get surgeries and get more confident, and then you're not attracted to them anymore. And you get to doing dumb stuff and they leave you. That little dick ain't keeping nobody. So the marriage falls apart and you blame it on surgery. You're bitter about the fact that they are living better lives now and once they left you. You don't like women past objectification. That's why you talk so negatively about them and the issues concerning them. Bitter about having to be in the closet because the world, particularly women's prejudice about gay folks. You are bitter about it all. And instead of getting therapy, you're gobbling dicks every chance somebody gives you because it's your secret get back because you hate women. And this is your get back to them. You talk shit on Facebook so that your Facebook homeboys, who don't really know who you really are, can make you feel good about with likes and jokes. But would they be your friend if you weren't capping about your journey? Let's talk about that cap journey. Let's talk about that journey openly as you talk about these women's journey. I want to read that status. And then I added my LeVar Burton picture. So I posted that read. And anybody who knows him, and that was on February 20th. Look, on February 20th, my homegirl, Tracy, soon as I post it and she sees it, she calls me and she is screaming. Because Tracy is one of them girls who chased after Ronnie, who liked Ronnie. Yes, this was public. She is one of the ones who chased after Ronnie and gagged. And what I didn't know is that Tracy is also Shawnee's friend. So she knew I was telling the truth because Shawnee, that everything that I knew about the relationship, I shouldn't have known, but I did know. And she was like, your analysis of the relationship is exactly what was the problem. He fetishized her as a big girl, and soon as she got small, he wanted to cheat on her. He wanted to leave her alone. That's exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. Then, oh wait, then my home, another one of the home girls in the my home girl Patrice. You remember Patrice? Ty, big girl Patrice. Everybody used to think she was trans, but she was a cis girl. They used to be at the 10 at the gay club all the time. She hit me up on the 21st. She was like, that post took me out. It was for Ronnie. And I was like, yeah, me and her had surgery. So me and her lost weight together. Hello, Kamali. Me and her lost weight together because we both had surgery. And so she was like, did you get surgery? I was like, yeah. And she was like, I've been dealing with Ronnie since I was fucking 17 years old. And your motherfucking ass out here talking shit about people getting surgeries and women, and you a whole fucking down low ass nigga out here. No, you are a clown. And so Patrice posted on her page. Oh, Patrice said, oh, now we know. Now we know why. Now we know why your ass talk so much shit about women. You in the closet. Which was hilarious. So everybody was sliding in my DMs, sharing the post, sharing all the shit. She posted this. It makes sense now why you always worried about women, what women do with their bodies. I see clearly now. Come on, fish. Petty. Ah, I love that. But yes, so of course, he waited a couple of days and slid in my DMs. I didn't respond because I don't give a fuck. We're not friends no more. I'm tired of defending you. I'm tired of um this goes back to what I was saying in the video about Cherry Bomb. I can only if you get to acting stupid, I no longer care about you enough to keep your secrets. If you say offensive stuff, if you don't care about me enough to keep your mouth shut about motherfuckers who get surgery, I don't give a fuck about your opinion. And if you in your brain didn't say, maybe I shouldn't say this because my homegirl got surgery, and you didn't care enough to do that, then I'm not caring enough to keep your secrets. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. If you don't care enough to keep shit to yourself and keep your opinions about my life choices to yourself, then I'm not going to care enough to keep your secrets and keep your down low lifestyle in your closet. When I see you being a hypocrite, I'm going to call your ass out on it. I'm not going to keep it in the closet. I'm not going to give you, I, I have given you too much grace. And I have lost my trust. We don't have trust anymore because there's no care. There's no empathy. So, since there's no empathy about my situation, why should I empathize with your situation? Because you in a fucking closet. Why should I care when you being a hypocrite? Why should I be, oh my God, I don't want to say that because, he has a girl. People, his reputation. Why should I give a fuck about your reputation? You sharing your opinion all freely without no sense of care about other people. There's no sympathy. There's no empathy. So I'm going to match that energy. There, you ain't giving no grace. So I'm not giving no grace. You being reckless, so I'm going to be reckless. Except the difference is I'm going to be reckless with the truth. I'm going to be reckless about your life because about the truth about your life and your hypocrisy. You being stupid about people's surgery that ain't got shit to do with you, but you want to judge us and you want to minimize the steps that we took to do what the fuck we wanted to do with our bodies. Okay, well let's put it out there. Let's put it out there so people know. So that every time that you say something, the kiddies can know that you are a fake and you're a hypocrite. You're not going to be running around these streets with people not knowing that you are a down low nigga. Maneuver through that. Oh, and that's perfect timing. 3 hours. So we not giving no grace, we not giving none of that shit. We're going to put you out, tell all your business. I'm not going to keep any of your secrets no more. If somebody come to me, I'ma tell them. I have given you enough grace. All right. So thumbs up if y'all watching. What y'all want to talk about? Y'all know what y'all want to talk about. This is the part of the story that I'm gonna cut out, but not the story. The story has ended. That's the end of that. But this is the part of the show that I'm gonna after cut out. What's new? What's new in your life? What's going on? I want to talk about this Gene Hackman shit too, because this shit is weird. And I want to tell y'all something that I did years ago. And I think it's fucking weird. So y'all know Gene Hackman died in his house with his wife recently. And they said that his wife died first due to some like virus from some rats or whatever that caused her to kind of die, and she was their caretaker. And so one of their dog died because it was in a cage. And when he died and she died at the same time, the dog couldn't get out. And so they had multiple dogs, but one was in a cage and that one died because they couldn't feed it. Um, it made me think about